Hi, I'm Kristen Bell, and if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping for a car. Selling a car? Not so much.
We're really doing this, huh?
Thankfully, Carvana makes it easy. Answer a few questions, put in your VIN or license, and done. We sold ours in minutes this morning, and they'll come pick it up and pay us this afternoon.
Bye-bye, truckie.
Of course, we kept the favorite.
Hello, other truckie.
Sell your car with Carvana today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Used to Sew, a podcast about sewing machines, sewing history, and sewing culture in the past and present. I am your producer and co-host, Aradia, daughter of your main host, T.R. Kelly, who is here today to talk to you about part 2 of our grab bag of topics, continuing from last week. We discuss more fan mail. I include audio from a silly joke I did on a different podcast. I hope, it will make sense in context. There's an update on various projects, including for Kiffy the cat, the disgusting discovery that grease can indeed rot, and more reminders to service parts of the machine that rarely get love, like motors. TR loves troubleshooting machinery, whereas I'm more likely to be found troubling machinery. Together, we learn a lot, and we hope that you are also learning something with us, whether you are more like TR or like me. There is also the introduction of podcast stickers for purchase. You will find a link in the show notes for this episode and all episodes going forward to purchase a sticker through the PayPal of Fox and Raven Media LLC. So fancy. All right, let's get into the episode. Speaking of loose ends,
What?
I want to get back to one of the other fan mails that we got.
Yes, fan mails.
There's another fan mail from our patron Hills, who I thought I recognized their name from my Wheel of Time universe. And yes, she does confirm that she is a person who I've known from the Wheel of Time universe for a long time, is also a fan over here. Love the intersection.
Yeah.
And specifically asked in the podcast about Bernadette Banner, because Wheel of Time crossover, all that. Asked in a slightly tongue-in-cheek way, should Bernadette have made her dress with a divided skirt? So this is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, because Robert Jordan in the Wheel of Time has this whole thing about skirts divided for writing.
Oh.
And us in the fandom have always been like, so do you mean pants? And it's been this long running thing. Seth and I once did a joke ad for Tarvalin After Dark, which is a comedy podcast. And they do these like facetious ads. And we did an ad read for them for skirts divided for writing. They're not pants, but they're not pants. And it was this whole like hilarious scenario. It was very funny. I'll see if I can find a link to put it in the episode description, because we had a lot of fun doing it.
Has this ever happened to you?
I was getting on my horse this morning and my skirt rips down the middle. It happens every fucking time. I can't afford to keep buying new skirts. What am I supposed to do?
Introducing Skirts Divided for Riding. Say goodbye to embarrassing, loud ripping sounds when you mount your horse, and say hello to your new look. You may wonder, what do skirts divided for riding look like? It's hard to explain. They're not pants, but they're not pants. Skirts divided for riding, because otherwise you'll ruin all your skirts.
It's always been this joke of like, what the hell are skirts divided for writing? And like occasionally a nerd will come along and explain that there is such a thing, blah, blah, blah. But in the TV show, they very much display these beautiful billowing pantaloon style pants that looked like skirts unless you were walking quickly. And then you're like, oh, skirts divided for riding. I get it, I think. So it's funny that this question is being asked here. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek because it's like, yeah, Bernadette Banner, why didn't you make the skirts that are not pants, but not pants? But and to answer that question specifically, yes, I do think that Bernadette Banner should have gone through the effort of explaining the historical reality of skirts divided for riding and showing how those could have been made. I would have very much appreciated that from her. Seemed like an opportunity just lying on the table.
Yeah, very much. It's like, There's pants, there's skirts, there's pantaloons, there's culottes. Where do we draw the line? I would like to know myself. I'm thinking, yeah, folkwear has the great big sky riding skirt, which is a divided garment, but then it has this piece that buttons over the front. And it's like from ranch times 100 years ago when women still had to wear a skirt, but they needed to ride too. So there was this. Yeah, so that would be, any of our costume nerds want to enlighten us on the fine gradations of where pants and skirts divide.
Haha, nice. Oh, and that reminds me, I didn't even talk about when I was talking about my my dress, my overalls that I'm turning into a dress thing. There's this other cool mod that we have to talk about. I'm doing a button. You just mentioned the button down the front.
That's where I got the idea.
With the skirts divided for riding. Yeah. So I have to, with this dress, so we divided the top and the bottom, right? But now I have a bottom skirt and only the top open. So I was like, well, what's the closure? How am I going to get in and out of this dress, right? Because my waist is really high and like I can't just have the closure be on the bodice. It's not that kind of fabric. It's not a stretchy sundress. This is like a canvas work dress. So we're like, how am I going to get in and out of it? So we have settled on running down the right. So there's a split in the front, right? There's a triangle in the front where we split the pants into skirts. So that panel is going to actually fasten on one side with buttons, like on the side of the triangle that's running down my right leg. It's actually going to overlap and do a series of buttons. And I looked through my button collection and found these gnarly old, like tarnished silver plated brass buttons or something. Like they're really cool, old looking buttons. So yeah, I'm going to have like almost that kind of like buttoned across panel look on the front of this dress, even though there's no writing involved in my design purpose. It was just, I need a way to get in and out of the dress.
Get it out. You know, when I suggested that, I think I was thinking of the big sky riding skirt, that folkwear pattern.
Ta-da! Loose ends. They're getting tied up.
Very, very cow woman. Oh my gosh. Machines, garments. Oh, I remade a garment. It's for my cat.
That still counts. Let's talk about clothing design that is tailored to your specific furry friend.
You know, it works the same for our little companion persons as it does for us humans. Their bodies are not standardized, especially dogs. My God, dogs come in. Okay, small, medium, large, right, but you know, a corgi, the body shape. So even cats, okay, my little Kiffy girl, she's a 7-pound cat. And I ordered the smallest kitty holster is the brand. And it's a wonderful little cat vest, security vest that she can't get out of for walking outside. Anyway, I ordered the smallest one, but she's at the small end of the spectrum there. So all the attachment Velcros and things were just way too big. Plus, I hate Velcro. But I see the point of, you know, if it has to be adjustable, Velcro is a thing. What if it doesn't have to be adjustable? What if it's made specifically for her? Also, the neck was too tall for her, so she had like a little obese, like she's walking like she's wearing one of those cones of shame things. Like, no.
Yeah, she was pushing her head forward. I could see it when she walked by. I was like, there's strain in her neck.
Right. So I trimmed and fudged and moved things around and came up with something that actually fits her. We cut the collar down. We cut all the too long fasteners off. We enclosed the edges of the Velcro so they weren't scratchy. I sewed a little bracket for her GPS tracker on the back so she doesn't have to wear that on the collar. We're talking adventure kitty here. But now it fits her just fine, and I put it on her, and she doesn't want to flop over and freak out. She's like, oh, all right. Can I go outside now? So, of course, now after we successfully did it, had to pattern it. You know, trace around. Okay, seam allowance, bias edge. I like to put all the instructions for what I'm, use a D-ring here, Velcro. The hook goes on this side. So I'm keeping Velcro around the belly band because it's easy to do. But I'm replacing Velcro under the neck with a nice decorative button. Because once it's around her tummy, then I can fart around with the button just fine. It'll look a lot cuter. And pulling that Velcro apart close to her face, she hates that sound.
Yeah, I can see her little cat ears not liking Velcro that close. Like the belly is far enough, more far away. So yeah.
And so she's going to have a wardrobe, and I was even talking about making more of the like Carhartt kitty vest and then extending the back end over the abdomen to protect the soft white underbelly. So anyway, yes, sew for your pets. Even the patterns, though. There's a lot of patterns for pet wear, but it's not going to fit your critter. Don't be afraid to do alterations for them. They won't sit for fittings very well. So put the thing on them. Take a video of them moving around so you can see, neck's too tall. Fix it. So sewing for pets. It's fun. I know that for birds, there's actually flight suits and flight diapers as well. So it's not just a dog and cat thing. Sewing for pets. I would recommend not using Velcro because if you don't need super adjustability, Velcro is like, you don't need that. Plus, it gets clogged with pet hair really fast. They don't like the sounds, and it wears out. Velcro is, I just don't like it at all. End of rant.
It's really, really helpful stuff. But yeah, you got to know how to use it. And something I've really just admired above and beyond Velcro, but including Velcro, is just how you and your cat have been working together on making this project work. Because, like, you need her to be able to be picked up, able to have her GPS tracker, able to not be attacked by hawks, able to be seen, able to be leashed. Like, she needs this garment for your sake. But then you put it on her and she, obviously didn't like it at first because she's a cat, but like, then you notice what she specifically didn't like. You're paying enough attention to her to be like, oh, this is something she can learn to tolerate. This is something she can't learn to tolerate, and like modifying it based not just on her physical tiny little cat body that's even smaller than the original small, but also like what she's just able to tolerate or not tolerate. It's just really cool watching you design it to her personality as well as her physique.
Aw. Yeah. Now we just have to match her colors. For those of you following along at home, she's a Dilute Tabico, which is a cross between a tabby and a calico, which means she has tabby stripes in both gray and orange with a white bib and feet.
We could post her modeling her cute little cat thing on our social media, on our Patreon. Like, we could post pictures of her.
We should.
Like, we don't want to be on camera, but she's a cat, so she's meant to be posted on the internet.
She's beautiful, and everybody just wants to pinch her little
and she's
cheeks, little
gorgeous.
pretty girl. Okay, stop.
She has such big eyes.
I'm having cuteness overload, and she's not even in here.
All right, what other topics do we have to cover in today's recording session?
Back to machines. Let's go back to, was it our Denmark fan there was like, except for the 206, I almost threw it across the room, which I said, yeah, that's one of those singer swingers. Remember 206, 306, 319W. And then I was all, oh my God, I've got a 319W. Well, I finally got to pick it up from our buddy Mike at Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing. And there it was, had my name on it. Picked it up. Oh my God, it's wonderful. It's not sewing. It's not working. Oh no. Mike had just bought it, but he hadn't done anything to it yet. Right? So I took it back and I said, Mike, I am not competent to work on this machine. I know nothing about it. And so he took it back, and like half an hour later, he brought it back. The hook and the needle bar had both been out of time. And we conjectured that somebody was trying to time it to use standard needles, because that's that thing. They were trying to get around, oh, I don't want to use 206 by 13. They're too hard to find, blah, meow, etc. So then I was going off about earlier when I had this machine, oh yeah, I'm going to take that 319 and I'm going to do that bobbin case modification with the 20U bobbin case and this and that. And I was really deep into that rabbit hole. And then I went, wait a minute. TR, how many vintage sewing machines do you own? Right now, 14. Each one's different. Each one does something different. I mean, I'm talking from the tiny little child's Model 20 chain stitcher up to the 29 UFA cobbler. But what about this 319? Why did I get this? Well, I wanted all those really cool stitches because it has a just infinite variety of built-in cam stack and da-da-da-da-da. And it's a zigzag machine that can easily be treadled, which is what I want. It's got external hand wheel, all that stuff. But do I need to do that modification? I have so many machines that already use that needle system. Why not just let the 319 be the 319? And again, going back to what we talked about the Davis, how I modified the needle bar to take industrial needles. Well, the 306 also has a variety of industrial needles that it will use. And all you have to do is make sure you get the eye pointing the right direction. You don't have to do any grinding or modifications to it. So I'm going to let the 319 just be itself as it was designed. I'm not going to try to mod it to do something else. I just don't see the need for it. I think a lot of people, because it can be done, they want to do it. But it's like, if you're a VSM person, you already have a machine that'll do that. Let the 306, 206, 319, let them be the singers swingers. End of rant. Oh, not end of rant. Okay.
Addendum to rant.
Addendum to rant. Next part. The 319 underneath, it's a full rotary, and it has a sealed gearbox, just like your car. Think of your differential, right? That big part that hangs between your back wheels if you've got a rear wheel drive. I guess most of you probably don't have rear wheel drive cars anymore anyway, back in my day. So it's where gears meet other gears and change motion from this direction to that direction. So you got gears in there doing things, and they need lubrication. So in a gearbox, a closed gearbox like that, usually they're just packed full of an appropriate grease. And there you go. Well, this machine is slightly older than me, so let's just say 70. 70 years old. That grease has never been changed. Why would you? Didn't think about that. I popped that cover open, and oh my God. Does grease rot? Yes, it does. That was some of the stinkiest, nastiest, sludgy green goo. I'm like, WTF, Roger, over. What is this? So I typed it, I, of course, went to a trusty computer and searched about petroleum decay. And yes, that is a thing. That's stinky, smelly old machine, old cars. Petroleum products do degrade. So what you're smelling is hydrogen sulfide, which also, it's sulfury, it's stinky, it's rotten eggs, it's your baby's diaper when they're not feeling well. It stinks. So what do? You take it outside, and then you get a stick and you scrape it all out, and then you clean it all out with solvent, and then you run the machine, and more comes out and more comes out. And pretty soon it's all clean. It's clean. All right, doesn't stink anymore. Yay. What do you put back in? Well, I did the classic old Singer Man thing and packed it full of Vaseline. And
sure,
that's the same consistency. And, it's not...
it's a petroleum product, yeah.
Motor lube is different. Motor lube has to melt at a certain thing. But gear lube, man, whatever petroleum stuff you got, you can pack in there. I didn't want to put, automotive bearing stuff in there, because that has a lot of weird additives. I'm like, what would have been in this machine at the time? Probably some really simple petroleum jelly type thing. So now it doesn't stink. So it's great. I have ordered a complete set of the fashion discs. They came in a little box. Oh my God. I went on the big auction site, and normally this item sells for $120 US. I happened to find somebody selling one for $63 because it had a little crack in the corner. Oh, hell yeah. I want that.
Wow.
So I've got the needles ordered. The fashion discs are here. I've got a buttonholer for it. Mike at Stagecoach Road even had, I was over there scrounging his place for, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? Yeah, I have that. You wouldn't happen to have one of them trapezoid cases. Well, I do. And guess what? It didn't stink. It looked nice. So I got a trapezoid case that I can put the 306 in, or the 301. Right? Still got that guy working good. Okay. So the 306 is up and running. We'll be visiting it once I actually get to sit down and sew on it and turn it into a treadle and all that. Stay tuned. Now let's go back to the last machine of the day, the 101 that your friend gave us.
Yeah.
And he brought that one over and said, hey, you guys want this?
Hey, you guys want to buy a sewing machine?
He didn't even sell it to. He says, you guys want to please take this off my hands? Yeah, man. So we did. But something wasn't right. I sat down to sew on it the other day, and it's like, okay, it works. I mean, the motor's purring. The cabinet looks great because we waxed it, all the good stuff. But the feed is not. Something's clicking and snapping and cracking. And And not only that, but your husband did not like the smell of that sewing machine. Guess why? Rotten petroleum products.
Ah, he does have a sensitive nose for things that have gone awry.
Let's just go back to rotten petroleum products for a minute before we get mechanical. The 101, as you may recall, has that oil reservoir right under its bed where you're supposed to drop 12 drops of oil in there and it soaks down the little wicks and goes into the bearings. Well, the 101, that machine, that one is 101 years old. That's right. We figured it out in 1924 on that one.
Right, yeah.
And how much oil's been in there? It's stinky. It really stinks. It didn't stink near as bad as the 306, but I know his sensitivities, and it's like, yeah, he would smell that. That's not good. So rather than trying to clean it, you know what? I just took it out. I took that whole box and all the wicks out, and now I can see all the bearings that need to be oiled, and I can oil them myself. So that's one of those labor-saving gadget gizmos thing that, I don't need that on my machine. Take it off. So now my 101 is free of its oil wick. And while I was under there, I figured out what was wrong with the feed. 101 has a really interesting little knob on the bed that you turn and it clicks, and that's the feed. Well, without that oil thing in the way, I could see that I had put that back together at the wrong point of its range so that it was crashing into the thing. So just like we did on the Davis nose. It's like, oh.
Right, yeah, I remember that was a problem on one of our assemblies of the Davis nose.
Yeah. There's like, wait, it's just, there's no feed here. Well, yeah, there's a range and you have to get it. Okay, 0 is 0. Okay, there we go. Same thing with the 101. But it wasn't until I took that oil wick out that I saw that. So that was kind of a thing on that. So now the 101's back together. It is still the quietest machine. I'd run it for you right now, but the computer's sitting on top of the cabinet.
Yeah, you can't.
What else? Let's see. We speed limited I didn't want to speed limit the 101 because that's mine, and I like to go fast. And it will go fast. That machine, it'll go fast in the 201. So now it's like I've got the 101 and the 301 if I really want to go fast. I was treadling this Davis going, okay, how fast can I go? About 250 stitches a minute is about as fast as you can go on a treadle that has the standard size band wheel on the bottom. Of course, I want to hook one up to a bicycle derailleur with all the gears. I want to go fast.
Yeah. I have another sort of bundle of topics that ties together another one of our pieces of fan mail, as well as a thing we did in the sewing room, as well as our Patreon.
Yes!
So we got another piece of mail from Lena?
Oh,
Lena? I don't know
Sweden.
how to pronounce that. Names
Lina.
are hard.
I think Lina. I think it's short for
Lina.
Carolina. I think. Lina, tell us.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Lina. And among other things, Lina said, an episode on how to restore old machines would be appreciated. And so from that, I want to bounce over to another thing we did in the sewing room, which was you just sort of gave a once-over to my 1591. You just kind of did the IT thing. You just unplugged it and plugged it back in again. Just like a whole bunch of little parts, because I forget what I had mentioned, but you noticed that one thing was a little loose, and then another thing was a little loose, and pretty soon you had disassembled and reassembled and tightened, and just the whole thing just little bit of efficiency in a bunch of corners, and it all came together. So, and I don't quite know how some of those things came loose. There was stuff that shouldn't have come loose, but it did. And I just thought it was a good moment to remember, there's more than oiling to servicing a machine. Yes, there's regular servicing, but there's also just paying attention to the fact that it needs servicing, which I'm terrible at. I'm so good at doing the frog in the boiling water situation. I don't notice when I'm hungry, much less if my sewing machine needs oil, But it was interesting to have you go from, this one thing's a little wonky to, there's 7 things that are adding up to a more cohesive wonkiness that's just making this machine not work as good as it could.
Wonk. It's making it wonk.
And it's just, that's important.
I see. This machine, we're talking about the machine that you all know as Exuberant. That's what its magnetic tag says. And it is a 1591 from 1951. I think I rescued this one from one of Mike's yard sales and brought it over here. This has been like 3 years ago. And I don't think I've serviced it or anything since. And you use it. We use it kind of hard. We've done a lot of things with it. And it's like, I want to put one of those little stickers like they give you at the oil change place. You know,
That would be so good. Yes.
next service due. Because every machine, whether you use it or not, if you don't use it and you put it away, the oil evaporates. It needs serviced anyway. So it's, you know, I'm talking vintage machines here that need stuff done to them. For instance, the ones with the pot motor, or any motor as a machine. These old guys, the ones that use the lubricant. Now, I just learned this, and I did it on your machine. Don't put any thread in, unclutch it, and just run the motor full blast for 2 minutes, and you'll hear it start off, and then you'll hear it speed up, and then you'll hear it once it gets to a speed that it likes, that it'll stay there. Now it's ready to sew. The motor lubricant has to warm up and get on the bearings there.
You can't just start from a cold start after weeks of not talking to it at all and just have it immediately sew at its top game.
No. If you've got a machine that takes lubricant in the tubes in the motor, and this is pretty much a lot of old singers, you know, it's like your car. Start it and warm it up before you expect to drive it.
Yeah.
So let the motor lube warm up, and then you're ready to sew. So on your machine, we were trying to do a buttonhole
Yeah, that's what it was.
and hook up the buttonholer. And one of the buttonholers that I had reassembled, I didn't reassemble right. And I was like, all right, I'm going to change out the buttonholer and quit thinking it might be the machine. Well, it was the buttonholer. So then, but still the tension's wonky on this thing. The tension discs somehow had rust on them. So I took the tension all apart. And then I'm noticing, wait, the check spring sleeve thing is loose, and that's wanking back and forth when it's trying to sew. No wonder it's not getting the right tension. So basically, cleaned, reassembled, adjusted the top tension piece. So on a 15 machine, it's on your left side there, it's facing you. And also took apart the lower hook, which is not a big deal. There was some bobbin thread wrapped around down there. We were having top tension problems. We were getting all those loops underneath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even though that wasn't the bobbin thread, they were gunking up that area. So that had to get cleaned out. And then I just oiled the whole thing because it had been a few years. And now it's... That's the one you hear at the beginning of the podcast when you hear the note poing, and then you hear the foot drop and that's the 15. That's exuberant.
Oh, yeah. And then I totally forgot. And then, so my serger, I have a talent for screwing up my serger, but it turns out that talent was being exacerbated by the serger also not completely having its shit together. So tell us about that service job.
Okay, so we're talking about a Husky Lock 535D here. It's from the 80s. Really nice machine. We just had it serviced last year at Viking in Eugene, which is an excellent shop if you're in the Eugene, Oregon area.
Because I had screwed up the tension or the timing. I had completely screwed up the timing to beyond what you could fix. So we had to go to the pros.
You know, yesterday we figured out that you were trying to run over things that the serger is not supposed to run over.
I overestimated how badass the serger was.
Yeah, so you didn't throw the timing off this time. The blades were both skewed, so they couldn't come together and make a cut. It's like scissors with a blank spot, right? So we had to raise the lower blade and drop the upper blade and then retighten those up. But there's a piece broken on this machine.
In the door, the little door that you open so you can do all the threading stuff. And I thought it was just aesthetically broken because there was this top piece that was broken off and it was all sharp. And I'm like, hey, Mom, we need to make this so it's not an eyeball gouging bastard. And then it turns out there was more wrong with it than just being a pokey thing in danger of hitting someone's eye.
Yeah, it's got this little latch thing that's not engaging. And since that wasn't engaging, all your trimmings were curling back into the thing. And it's like, oh, well, that's stupid.
And then pushing the blades out of alignment. A whole problem.
Right. So, this is man, when I worked for Singer back in the day, I love troubleshooting machinery because I know what it's supposed to do. Why is it not doing that? And then you trace back through, okay, this isn't working. It's like logic, but with machines. Oh no, and sergers also, they got to have their needles the right way. You got to thread them the right way. And this is an old one. You actually got to poke the thread through the loopers, and yeah, I can see why people are like, no thanks. I'll just use my zigzag. But when it's working great, but don't sew over big thick things. Don't sew over the ends of zippers. Yeah, it's one of those not designed for that. And then we talked about if you wanted me to speed limit that one too. I don't think I've got to that yet. Did I?
I don't think so.
So I can't. I've been looking to try to order a door. I was looking for all these pieces that you need last night. The Kenny bobbin winder, the even feet foot, the door. I cannot find that. So I'm going to have to fabricate. I can fix it. I can fix anything.
Yeah,
really.
You're handy. I trust you to be able to fix it. We will make this work.
Yeah, and if I can't, my brother can, damn it. He's got a machine shop.
Right, exactly.
So, and let's see, what am I looking at? Davis? Okay, I'm looking at Davis good. Exuberance good. Husky's good. Kenny's good. 101's good. Every machine that's in this room right now is functional. And they weren't. Yeah. They weren't at the beginning of our thing. I guess the takeaway from this episode is there's lots of little maintenance and fiddly things to do, whether it be with your machines, your garments. See, you mended a little hole. That was cool. You mended that tiny thing. And it's like, oh, tighten this tiny screw. Before the whole thing rips apart, pay attention. Don't sew with headphones on until you know that your machine's working right.
Yeah,
my mechanic says, the minute your car starts making a funny noise, that's when I want to hear about it, not when it blew up. Because, okay, if it starts to make a funny noise, same with your machine. Is it making a funny noise? Oh my God, the buttonholer, my needle's falling out, right? We've talked about that, how the driving fork of the buttonholer can unwind your needle. It's like, don't do that.
We should also mention stickers. Let's talk about stickers real quick.
So those of you who are our Patreons, the minute even if you're at $1 a month, by the time you hit 5 months, you're going to get a sticker, and they're really cool. So we're like, dang, we need stickers for people that maybe they don't quite want to commit to Patreon yet, but they still want to have a sticker, or we want to go stick them in the windows of fabric stores, blah, meow. So we went and made a bigger sticker, and it's the same logo, but then above the sewing machine, it says a podcast. Oh, we want more people to find us, right? Or we want you to be able to stick that on your laptop and go, yes, I'm one of the few, the proud, the threaded. The point being, we're going to be able to offer you a sticker, a physical sticker, really soon. And you don't have to do anything but e-cash us or even mail us a $5 bill. I don't care. Anyway, you're going to have stickers. And we might even wind up doing T-shirts. I don't know. We need to do a 1-year retrospective. And I want a T-shirt. I want to be able to go into fabric stores with matching T-shirts and stickers.
Yeah.
And stuff.
We just have to make sure that we're sourcing it all ethically and blah, blah, blah. Sew them ourselves, grow the wool, spoon feed the nuns ourselves,
Like that wonderful Jewish proverb, it's not upon you to fix it all, but you're not excused from working on it. So we do what we can, right? We do what we can. But yeah, we're not doing business with obviously problematic businesses. We try to do the best we can. And we thank you for helping us do it, no matter where you are. Do we have any fans down in Australia or NZ? If there's anybody down there listening to us, we want to come visit down there, but we need to know some people. So if you're a Used to Sew fan in the Southern Hemisphere, do write to me, us, all of us. Dang, it's winter down there, right? Coming into spring.
Yeah.
Sewing season. Yeah. I do hope to visit down under in 2028. So I want to have some sewing friends to come see down there. Let me know where good quilt shops are, blah, meow, etc. Okay, we've been talking for like an hour and a half, and I need more tea. So you guys go sort your fabric, think of everything we talked about, service your treadle stand, and stay threaded.
Bye. And there you have it. Part 2 of a general grab bag of topics that TR and I needed to catch up on before we got back to a narrow focus episode. We talked about our fans, that's you, updated you on projects and machine maintenance lessons, and took a request for an episode on restoring old machines that will be the topic of next week. I even included audio from a comedy podcast in the Wheel of Time universe that myself and my Watt Spoilers co-host did a few years ago. Hopefully it came across as funny to you as it did to me then, and indeed now. The Davis continues to be a delight to hear and use, the Serger is finally reliably functional again, my dress modification journey is still full of side quests, and I am peering excitedly at the horizon of becoming a quilter in the very near future. Stay tuned. And at the end of the episode, we announced that there are now podcast stickers for sale. They are a square 4x4 vinyl sticker with the logo. I really like it on my water bottle, and you can get it for just $5 at the link in the episode description. Next week, we will be talking about vintage wiring, and after that, another machine series deep dive. Oh, and also our birthday? That's this week, the week this episode comes out. Feel free to wish us happy 1 year on social media. As a reminder, we are unofficially sponsored by Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, who do repairs and restorations. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can support us by sharing the podcast with your friends, and also with money, at patreon.com/used-to-sew. Thank you for listening to us here at Used to Sew. We always welcome your additions, corrections, and feedback in general. Please reach out to us via email at usedtosew@gmail.com. Used to Sew is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.
We all know that feeling. You finally manage to get away on vacation and the worrying starts. Will that bogus "beware of dogs" sign keep your home safe? What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide and key rock? That's where ADT comes in. All that stuff, it's safe-ish. It seems fine when you don't really think about it, but you know it truly doesn't work. Instead, ADT provides security solutions that keep you actually safe, giving you real peace of mind. Because vacation is supposed to be, relaxing. Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more. We all know that feeling. You finally manage to get away on vacation and the worrying starts. Will that bogus "beware of dogs" sign keep your home safe? What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide and key rock? That's where ADT comes in. All that stuff, it's safe-ish. It seems fine when you don't really think about it, but you know it truly doesn't work. Instead, ADT provides security solutions that keep you actually safe, giving you real peace of mind. Because vacation is supposed to be, relaxing. Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more.